Undead Nightmare is widely regarded as one of the best DLCs ever made, and for good reason. It's a DLC that differentiates so much from the main game that it warranted an independent release and considered a standalone game respectfully. Even though Undead Nightmare is considered to be nothing more than a what-if fun non-canon story, what if I told you it might be hiding a bigger secret? I'm going to explain to you why I think Undead Nightmare might just be John Marston's most pivotal adventure of his whole story.
What should we do?
Well, I suggest we try to find other survivors, band together, and find a cure, or fight to the death trying.
If you're a big fan of RDR, you've probably come across the Dream Theory, and for those who haven't, here's a quick recap just to get you up to speed. The Dream Theory suggests that the events of Undead Nightmare all take place within John's head, like, you probably guessed it, a dream. I mean, it's even in the title, Undead Nightmare. This is widely considered to be the explanation for this DLC and why it's non-canon to the main story. There's even some dialogue as well in the game that reinforces this.
Either that, or I'm dreaming.
That's what I'm hoping too.
However, I want to take this theory and go a step further and give an explanation as to why John even has a nightmare of the undead in the first place. What if John isn't just having a nightmare about a book Jack explained to him before he goes to sleep? Maybe there might be a deeper psychological reason behind John's night terror, one that ties more to his past, his fears and his overall journey as a protagonist. As Arthur Morgan had to pay for his past crimes through a manifestation of physical deterioration of his body and strength.
You got tuberculosis. Really sorry for you, son. It's a hell of a thing.
John, on the other hand, must face his in a psychological nightmare, where his buried sins that he's ran from time and time again come back as demons only he can put to rest. What if John needed Undead Nightmare to truly see the waking world clearly, just as Arthur needed tuberculosis to change his ways and make amends for his past?
What you reading?
Just some book about monsters.
If we take a deeper look into the story of Undead Nightmare, it's more than just a random zombie story, but more of a retelling of John's journey to redemption. Unlike the main story of RDR1, however, Undead Nightmare removes the physical constraints of the law and replaces it with a metaphor representing the heavy weight of a flawed soul. Overall, this changes the dynamics from being a pawn for the Bureau to a plague that completely changes the world and leaves John with only one option, and that's to confront it. Characters such as Seth Bryce and Nigel West Dickens also make a return in this nightmare, but they aren't just cameos, they're primary scapegoats for the apocalypse. West Dickens is accused of drugging people into monsters, and Seth's obsession with the dead is blamed for the rising corpses.
It's the glass eye! The freak with a glass eye! He caused this!
No, it's the snake oil man. These poor folks have been drugged.
I blame the Mexicans. They haven't been struck down.
All right, we heard a lot of stories, mister. Folks!
What if these characters are reflections of the greed and madness of John's old life? In the waking world, John used these men to further his goals. He killed, lied and deceived for them, even if he was reluctant to do so. In this dream world, their traits of greed and madness become the literal culprits of the plague. It suggests that these demons are an indirect result of John's choices. Even if he thought it was for a good cause, to save his family, he still hurt and killed others to get there. If the apocalypse started because of the types of people John associated with, then only he can fix it, not as a bounty hunter, but as a man taking responsibility for his decisions. We see this in the tasks he performs, like cleansing graveyards. On the surface, it's a mission to stop the dead from rising, but symbolically it's a futile attempt to keep his past buried. Just as the undead keep rising despite his efforts, John's refusal to face the deeper roots of his past means that cleansing the surface is only a temporary fix. It's a problem that requires far more courage to truly defeat than just burning a few coffins. This finally brings me to the final act of the story, in Mexico, and how John must truly face his past. After coming to a standstill with the zombie curse, John is pointed towards one final culprit, Mexico. But the only way to get across is on an army train. Here we arrive at the climax of the first half of the DLC, the battle to escape America. John must defend his only hope of crossing the border from waves of the undead. This isn't just a combat encounter, It's a desperate push for answers. Notice how as John gets closer to the border, the undead become more restless and terrifying, bursting from the ground in greater numbers to stop him. If this nightmare is a manifestation of John's psyche, then this battle represents his internal resistance. The closer he gets to the truth of his sins, the harder his mind fights to keep those truths buried. Mexico is the hardest act of Undead Nightmare. There are more special zombies like bolters and wretches, and towns are significantly harder to clear. As John gets closer to the truth, his demons become stronger than ever. However, there's a dark layer to this struggle. Is this really a nightmare to John? Or is it the perfect playground for the outlaw side of him that he cannot be when he's with his family? In the waking world, John is a man trying to adjust to an ever-changing world that doesn't want people like him no more. A world where gunslingers are being hunted down in the name of civilization. For a long time under Dutch van der Linde, John believed he was a romanticised gunslinger, a Robin Hood taking from the rich to help the poor. He justified robbing and killing as a necessary part of being a hero. In this nightmare, he gets to be that hero again. The laws are gone, the government has collapsed, and John is the only one who can save the world. It's the ultimate ego trip for a man who feels obsolete in 1911. This is the final contrast between him and Arthur Morgan. Arthur accepted that his time was ending. He knew he couldn't adjust to the evolving world. The ticking timer of his illness was a constant reminder that he could never have a life outside the gang. John, on the other hand, is a more stubborn and violent man. He represents that small shred of the Old West clinging to life, refusing to accept that the sun has set on the outlaw era. While Arthur's sickness forced him to look forward and save others, John's nightmare allows him to look backward and indulge in the violence he knows best. It suggests that John's final test isn't just about surviving the undead, it's about whether he can truly let go of the man he used to be.
Ay, qué bueno. Señor Marston, how wonderful to see you alive.
Who is that girl, by the way?
She? I don't know. She said she was in a holy order in Escalera. She blamed this terrible curse on our soon-to-be president Abraham Reyes. She claimed he had angered an ancient goddess, disturbed a crypt, and a temple in her honor.
Maybe it's time I go pay El Presidente a visit anyway.
I shall pray for you.
Someone certainly needs to.
After finding no cure for the plague, John is directed to Escalera, where the problems of the undead are at its worst, and it's the supposed origin of the curse. It is here that John finds out the true cause of the plague, a green Aztec mask that must be returned. As John enters the crypt in Escalera, the atmosphere shifts. This isn't just another combat zone, it's a physical representation of John's mind. The demons and the guilt literally fall from the walls. The deeper he goes, the more decayed the undead become. These aren't just fresh victims of the plague. They are the ancient rotting sins of a man who has been running for a long, long time.
Think of your family. You must not give up now. Our history can never be silenced.
He's accompanied by the mysterious girl, somebody who's been following him since the start of his journey, a figure the undead refuse to touch. She acts as John's inner guide, a personification of a conscience he tried to silence years ago. She forces him to look at what these creatures really are, reminders.
This is as much a fight against yourself.
At the heart of the tomb lies the rightful place of the green Aztec mask. This is the final test. If John keeps the mask or refuses the task, he stays in the nightmare. He remains the romanticised hero, the legendary gunslinger who saves towns and kills monsters. In this world, He's needed. He's the Robin Hood Dutch always told him he was. If he returns the mask, however, the fantasy ends. He saves his family from the infection, but he loses his hero status. He goes back to being the man the world wants to hang.
Ayotioto.
A horse is waiting for you. You should return home.
John chooses his family. He chooses to be a villain in the eyes of civilization if it means Jack and Abigail can breathe again.
Well, let me fix us something to eat.
Please don't. We've had enough dramatics for one day.
So yeah, this is the end of the video now, and if any of you got this far, I just want to go off a bit of script here. I just want to say a massive thank you to you. I think this is my third video I've made, and I'm still kind of working out, you know, how to edit properly and all that type of stuff, proper commentary, and just getting a bit better at it. The other two videos are a completely different style to this. If you want to go and watch them, that is. They're probably a bit bare bones compared to what you're probably used to, but if there's any favourite parts in this video that you liked, or anything that you enjoyed, or anything I can improve on, please let me know. I'm always up for tips for improvement, anything to help. And yeah, and if you want to show your support, like and subscribe. I promise you I have got more stuff in the works. I've got some more analysis videos I might make, some more of the videos like earlier. I could probably do another Red Dead Redemption 2 video. I've got loads of stuff, like ideas to do. We've got the new Resident Evil coming out as well, so stay tuned for that, because I'll definitely be making videos on that. Yeah, so thank you again, and peace out, and enjoy the rest of your day, or have a good night whenever you're watching this. I'll see you later.